We're just over a week from people getting their first Quest 3S's in-home, and with that there's a lot already happening as a result. One big thing that has now happened is the Quest 3S comes in multiple lineups, but it has also caused the Quest 3 to change its lineup. You can no longer get a Quest 3 128GB unless you get a clearance smaller one they're trying to sell out of. Now the Quest 3 512GB model is only $499, which used to be $649, and then it's an entire tiered family. So a Quest 3S with 128GB is going to be $299. You jump up 100 to $399, you get the Quest 3S with 256, or you jump up another 100 and you get the Quest 3 with the 512GB. Although if someone seeing this from the outside looking in might think that this is just $100 up for storage, $100 up for storage, that Quest 3 is still a big leap over either of the Quest 3S's. You still get those new pancake lenses, better visuals, higher fidelity. So ultimately among all the three, the Quest 3 is still the way to go, but the 3S does seem to kind of round out a whole family style variety of quests. If you are someone who's wanting to get one of those Quest 3S's, there will be links down below in the description in the comments to where you can still pre-order that, but also there's accessories already available for it on Amazon because the Quest 3 line is similar enough. Head straps can be swapped back and forth between a 3 and a 3S. Facial interfaces unfortunately are different, so you cannot get the same facial interfaces, but then it's the exact same controllers among the entire Quest 3 family, so any sort of grips for the controllers are going to work just fine, and even the tracking system on the Quest 3S for the controllers is the same as the Quest 3 itself, albeit some different sensors as far as room tracking goes, but the controller tracking looks to work exactly the same. And a big deal about this is this means all games going forward that were supposed to be Quest 3 exclusive now can be played on a headset that is only $300, although if you already had a Quest 2, you still would need to upgrade. Speaking of games, a big hyped up game people were excited about, Metal Hellsinger VR, is officially out on the Quest. This is based after the super popular flat game Metal Hellsinger, but now it's coming over to VR. Inside this game, you have wild metal music on. You are trying to shoot your enemies to the beat around you, but unlike a lot of VR rhythm type games, this one gives you completely free movement. I found I was double jumping up above enemies, shooting down on them, trying to keep it to the beat to get the most points while playing it, and it really reminded me of that badass feeling you kind of get when you're playing like one of the Doom games and the music comes on really strong and you're just shooting to the beat. And it's got a full storyline to the game if you take the time to actually watch the cutscenes and pay attention to what's going on. And as you're going through it, you get to boss fights where you're still using the same mechanics of fighting to the beat, but you're saving up your ultimates to try and take down the boss. The original game won a bunch of awards, and so far playing the VR game has been really fun. I definitely recommend if you are into the flat game or if you're just into metal, checking it out. Thanks to them for sponsoring this week's news and bringing more games to VR from the flat world that are critically acclaimed, because we need more of that to keep getting people to come into VR. We already talked about how the Quest 3 price and the model storage has all changed, but we're still seeing Meta actually dropping some new accessories for the Quest 3 that aren't also working on the 3S. A brand new facial interface, a spatial awareness facial interface, is now available for the Quest 3, trying to give you that feeling of being more like a Quest Pro where you can look out around the sides and see what's going on in your actual world. And this is meant to work with a stock strap or the Elite strap. Personally, what I would recommend if you really want to be able to see outside of your headset, get a Halo strap like a BoVR S3 Pro. The Halo straps allow all of the pressure of a headset to rest on your forehead, so if you want, you can have the lenses in or out from your face, and you can get that full feeling of having your face outside of the headset and being able to see out without having to buy another facial interface accessory. Although I'd be interested to hear if you do get one of these, do you like it with a Halo strap? And if we get one, we'll definitely review it for you and check it out in that context too. But to me, if you can have something not touch your face and only touch your forehead, why not do it? Maybe a little bit of extra stability with this for fitness games or something, but it's interesting to see they're dropping something like this for the 3 so late in the game, but it makes me hope maybe they'll continue to drop some good new accessories. Another big acclaimed game of the year that people have been looking forward to is Metro Awakening. It's now up for pre-order with a 10% discount if you do pre-order. If you know me here on the channel, you know that I usually don't recommend pre-ordering any game ever. There are referral codes you can do after the fact that are usually worth more than the pre-order discounts, and then you can also check out reviews and stuff on the game before that happens. I'm not someone who's played a lot of the original Metro games flat, but I will say I did get to try this one out early at Gamescom in Germany, and it definitely gave you a feeling of that kind of Metro vibe where you're in the sewers and the tunnels moving through it, having to put on your gas mask to get around puzzles in it. Personally, I did find the game a little claustrophobic. It felt like I just kept wanting to get out of those tunnels, get out into the open world more, and I asked some people who'd played more Metro games and they said that's kind of how Metro games go. They do offer some bonuses if you do pre-order in the deluxe edition, but it's releasing in just about a month on November 7th. Personally, I'm gonna hold off on it and watch for reviews, but what are you doing out there? If you're a Metro fan, does this sound like it's right up your alley and something you want to get immediately? With the new price tier changes of the Quest 3S and the Quest 3, right now could be a good time if you want to get some Quest 3s. We're seeing some of them as cheap as $380 refurbished. At the time time of recording, there is still Quest 3s available at $380 for the 128 gig. Those are refurbished models, although by the time this video comes out, those could have sold out. But basically, as Meta discontinued the 128 gigabyte Quest 3, you're gonna see more and more lower priced models of these around as people are running out of stock, or in the used market, prices are gonna be coming down too. Now those 512 gigabyte Quest 3s, if people are reselling them, aren't gonna be worth nearly as much. And a big question is, how much are Quest 2s even worth for people who are trying to get a Quest 3S and upgrade from it? If you can get a brand new Quest 3S for $299, what would someone sell their Quest 2 for at that point? It's definitely a buyer's market, I guess, as they call it. So if you are someone who's in the market for headsets, I would definitely say start watching Marketplace and other places. If people are gonna try and sell these to get a Quest 3S, you could probably snag up some extra Quest 2s at a really cheap price and then have some 8-player VR parties. If you were a big fan of Job Simulator or Vacation Simulator, you'll probably be pretty excited to know that Alchemy Labs, the same developer, is coming out with another game, Dimensional Double Shift. This is a game I actually got to try early behind closed doors. Everything's signed off, not allowed to record anything, but at Gamescom, they let us check this one out. You have to have multiple players. This is a multiplayer game. It feels a lot like Job Simulator, cooperative with up to 4 people, but you do need to have people to play the game. This is not something that has a single player access, but basically different scenarios. You might be working in a mechanic shop, you might be preparing food, but it puts it to where you all have to work together. Like there was a part where I needed to craft certain shaped pistons for a car, but only another person could see on their screen what shape they were, and a different person had to put them in the actual engine, really forcing everyone to work together in almost like a I expect you to die kind of way, where you can't always see, you have to communicate through it together. It's an interesting idea, and it'll be interesting to see how it comes out. Although if you know you've played Job Simulator with controllers and then you try to use it with hand tracking, it's fun to just use your hands, but sometimes it can be a little immersion breaking. I feel like it was an interesting choice here to start with it only being hand tracking, and I wonder if they'll add controllers later. It kept going back and forth on whether they would ever give developers access to your pass-through cameras on your Quest, and it sounds like they finally are going the direction of allowing developers to access them. This was a surprise announcement at Meta Connect, and it was advertised as how this will enable all kinds of cutting-edge MR experiences, but definitely brings up more and more privacy concerns about who has access to your pass-through, how much can they see from it, and obviously if you're currently using your headset, do you think about the fact that are there mirrors around? Is there credit card information laying around? Are there things that you wouldn't want people to be able to get access to through your cameras? Before, they could only see the point dots and it would be a really rough estimation of what was around you, but if it's full mixed reality color pass-through that they can get access to, what does that mean for security? This is something that's only starting to develop and we don't know exactly what it means yet, but we'll keep you posted here. But I'd love to know in the comments, how do you feel about this? I've said for a long time here on the channel that I believe the best VR games that are going to help push our medium the most is games that can only be played in VR. Beat Saber, Gorilla Tag, these are games you could try to play a version of them flat, but it's just really not the same. The physicality, the way the game plays, you need a VR headset. Well, Cal himself over at Upload VR is saying that Hiding the Corpse is also a unique puzzle game that really only works in VR. From how you have to take a heavy body, the physics of it, you have to try to find a place to hide it before the cops show up. But they're saying that this is a game that not only works in VR, but it really is the way that it's most immersive and exhilarating. You have to feel the physics of the actual body when you're moving it in the way it takes. And it brought up a question I just wanted to discuss with all of you out there. What do you think? Do you think a game like Half-Life Alyx, if it was ported to flat, would people play it flat and feel like they didn't miss out on anything in VR? If you played it, do you feel like there was something about playing it in VR that was only the way it should be played? Was it magical? Or is the key to continuing to push VR getting the old games that were flat and then bringing them over to VR, like we're seeing with Human Fall Flat, Resident Evil, and so many others? What's going to push the medium the most next? New headset season is upon us. With that, we are doing some giveaways. We're giving away a 3S. We're still giving away another 3. And then other companies have been supporting us with some game giveaways, some accessory giveaways. So if you have missed any of those, make sure and check the links in the description, in the comments. Head over and get entered in any of those you want to. Those are big and they're awesome for all of you out there, but it's because of all your support showing up every day that we can do things like this. And then we get to go see all of this stuff in VR ahead of time. I just really appreciate you. I know I say it in too many videos and you're probably annoyed hearing it by now, but you all really show up and support us. And I just want to say thank you. So once again, thanks for being here with me, and I'll see you in another reality.